right, are you ready?
Oh,
All right.
buddy, I've been fucking ready. I've been so fucking ready. Are you ready?
No. No, I hate everything about the situation. We're an hour behind, over an hour behind.
Correct.
I'm experiencing something that you recommended to me years ago that
Yes.
I'm dreading. So that's 2 negatives. How's your day going?
Well, now that I'm finally here, after sitting on my ass for an hour watching you click on a screen, I'm very much ready for what I'm about to experience.
Continue. What is there to continue? I mean, I might as well just start from the beginning.
Okay, here we go. Getting over it with Ben Foddy.
Oh my god. All right.
You're just a man in a pot.
Man in a pot, and my god.
I just want to say, I find this game so peaceful.
Matt? Oh my god. You know
what?
I gotta move my keyboard.
It just sounds.
I need
It just sounds peaceful because all I hear is just the water. I hear these clicks as your axe hits into things. The crunch as it slides around.
Yeah, so for anybody that doesn't know, Matt is the guy who recommends a lot of these, we'll say interesting games. So this was like maybe the first one you ever recommended. I've also, which, so happy we're, playing again. You've recommended Spaghetti.
Yes, and I also like how I'm pretty sure when I recommend these games, it's a simple. I don't say anything other than download and play this game, and that's all I say. I don't think I give you any pretense to anything I recommend to you.
No,
Other than I say don't watch anything about it and don't look into the reviews.
Yeah. God damn it! All right. It's so weird just maneuvering the mouse. Okay.
If you want some money at the casino, and then put
okay. Oh my
I love
god.
the jazz too. It's such good jazz. There's good jazz piano.
and then immediately dropped food on it.
Anger is already at a 7. Oh my god.
And then later
No,
discovered
there's no need for anger here.
I can't even get past the beginning.
starting over is harder than starting up. If you're not ready for that, like if you're
Okay,
already
okay,
at
let's
it,
be smart about
then
this.
what you're about to go through
Yeah,
might
you
be
gotta
too
be,
much.
gotta be smart.
Feel free
No,
to go away.
no.
I'll be
Okay.
here.
No.
Patience,
Just gonna-
patience. All right, patience. No! No! Oh, yes! Oh my
There you
god. All right.
I'm very curious. I don't think they've ever explained the concept of you're a man and a bucket full of water. And I don't think that's ever been explained by anybody who's done or reviewed this game.
It's very strange.
All right. Thanks for coming with me.
Oof. Okay.
I'll understand if you have to take a break
Hey.
at any point. Just find a safe place to stop and quit the game. Don't worry. I'll save your progress, always. Even your mistakes.
No!
I think this game is like therapy
For who?
for you. I think it's a game that kind of is therapeutic for you because it kind of boils down the core part of who you are into the moment of how you overcome this scenario, right?
Okay.
Right?
I mean, I could also see this being as like, no! For
Continue. See this being like a...
Well, so I believe in balance in the world, right? Like, I believe, like, people need to experience emotions. Because if you're just happy all the time, like, eventually you're going to go insane and maybe, I don't know, shoot up the old workplace or something. And it's like, if you're also angry all the time, well, you're just going to die young from stress and stuff like that. So I feel like, okay, we're just going to chill here for a second. So I can really think about this situation. I feel like I don't get super angry often, so maybe I need to. This is like a release to kind of reset my mentality. Oh!
Well.
Okay.
Oh.
See, pot.
This game is a homage to a free game that
No!
2002 titled Sexy Hiking.
Oh
The
my
author of
God.
that name is Jazuo, a mysterious Czech designer who was known at the time as the father of B games.
Okay.
B games are rough assemblages of found objects. Designers
I also
slap them
love the
together
monologue.
very quickly and freely.
Oh, I know.
And they're often too rough and unfriendly to gain much of a following. They're built more for the joy of building them than as
God.
polished products.
You know what's crazy? Watching people speed run this shit and beat it in like a minute.
It looks easy, doesn't it? You just gotta fake it till you make it, right? You just gotta do what they do, man.
Okay. Yeah. Nope. You know, and I think I remember actually getting somewhat far. Not super far, but like, I remember the first
feel
time
like
I ever played this, I did get past this point.
Yeah, you were doing really well the first time you played this game. I think you got very far.
You know, and it's funny because you think like, oh, it's just physics, but then it's like his arms don't go super far, so you can't build like momentum or anything.
I mean, I think the speedrunners would disagree, I think, about momentum. I think you can definitely get momentum. I think it just takes a certain level of mechanical ability and just complete stone cold killer guts to be able to do what they do, to get to the level they get to and keep going at this speed too.
I suppose. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. No! No! I wanted to throw my mouse right now in rage. But
I mean, we're only like 10 minutes into this game right now. I think you know why you're getting upset. I think I know why you're getting.
please tell me. Explain
I
to me
think
what
you-
I'm going through.
Well, just as an observer, I want to say that I think you're experiencing the conundrum of expectation versus reality. I think this game is the experience that it is.
Uh-huh.
Is because you have an expectation of what gaming is and what it is to game
Uh-huh.
mechanically with the mouse, you know, and keyboard. In this case, it's just the mouse. And because it doesn't meet that, your expectations are continuously being
Go on.
perfect timing as you just settle down, continually failing.
Yes.
I think that's what it is. It's just your expectation is I'm going to be able to do this with the mechanics that I know of, with this peripheral that I know of, aka the mouse. And then you go to do it, and the reality is, no, you're not. You know what I mean? It's very much like how most people think they'll do in a fight. Oh, I expect that I'll kick ass in a fight. And then they get into a fight, and they get knocked out or choked out in like 30 seconds. And it's, oh, the reality of that situation was very different. And I was maybe not prepared for the reality of the situation. And I kind of ran into some shit. That's what this is. That's what this game is. Okay? 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 This game is a fight. This game is you sparring against somebody who's so much more experienced and ranked than you, and you are losing horribly. And it's not a reflection of you not being good enough. I mean, in this context, you are not as good as the other person. And in this context, the level and the mechanics of the game are very difficult. But it's the running of reality, the running into the reality that's making you upset.
Well then. I think you enjoy watching me suffer. And therefore, here we are today.
I think I believe I only recommend to you fun, entertaining, exciting, enthralling, affordable, high-value games. That's what I think. That's what I think.
Okay. Well,
I think this game elicits such a powerful emotional response from you. You have to deem it as a value. You know what I'm saying?
so something else I don't think I ever really talked about when mentioning Matt on the channel. I know I've advertised our podcast plenty of times, but for those of you who are watching this for the first time or maybe perhaps didn't listen to any of those shout-outs, Matt and I do a podcast together called Takedowns Breakdowns. We record pretty much like, would you say twice a month, like every other week? And it's...
Yeah, bi-weekly.
Yeah, and it's martial arts related. Not specific to one thing in general. Like, we talk about UFC, we talk about, you know, any sort of... I cannot fucking play this game, dude. Any sort of... There we go.
You're doing great.
We do movie reviews that are martial arts / just fighting related. We've talked about our past experiences with classes we have taken, specifically more on the subject of traditional Aikido Jiu-Jitsu. And yeah, we've been doing the podcast now since sometime in like 2018. I can't even believe it's been that
In a
long
certain
now.
way, Sexy
Holy
Fighting is the
shit!
perfect embodiment of a B game. It's built almost entirely
There we
out of
go.
bound
Oh
recycled
my
parts.
god.
And it's one of the most unusual and unfriendly games of its time.
Shut up.
In it, your task is simply to drag yourself up a mountain
Okay.
with a hammer.
When I was
See, I like his accent.
That act of
I like his accent.
in the digital world or in real life has certain essential properties that give the game its flavor. No amount of forward progress is guaranteed.
Alright.
Some cliffs are too sheer or too slippery,
No!
and the player is constantly,
No!
unremittingly
No!
falling and losing everything.
Okay.
Oh, you just lost a lot
Fuck!
of progress. That's a deep frustration. A real
And that's another thing. How calm and collect he's like, ooh, ouch, yeah, that sucks, doesn't it?
I think it's because he is trying to get you to channel the peaceful side of what they're experiencing.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Also, for those of you listening, the chemistry between Matt and I is like yin and yang,
Oof, sorry about that.
where he would probably be more zen towards this game, unlike me. Ugh. Okay, so that lifts. Because that's the thing, too, I noticed. Depending on your situation, what position you're in, the controls change on you.
Do they really?
Yes, what was up becomes
Oh,
down.
it happened
What was
again.
left becomes right.
Keep on trying. Don't let it get
And that's what's like really throwing me off. And that's why sometimes you'll see me slowly adjust, because I'm like, okay, now it's down instead of up when trying to do this maneuver. Trust, yeah. See, like,
I think you're doing great, and I'm here to support you in this journey, in this challenge that you're facing. And I think you're doing a really good job. I think you have very good technique, and you figure it out very well. I think what happens is, not to bring it back to martial arts on purpose, but you bring it back to
This thing
the
that we call failure
you
is
bring
not
it back to the
falling
point
down,
of when
it's
you
staying down.
panic, and I don't mean you specifically. I'm just saying when you're in a situation and you panic and you start not controlling your breathing, scrambling, and you're wasting energy. Not that you're exactly doing those things, but I think that's what this game is designed to elicit. It's designed to elicit not just the frustration of something that's cumbersome. I think it's also designed to right?
he's playing a song!
Get nasty over there, boy.
I can't.
Going down the road feeling bad. Going down the road feeling bad.
I think it's designed to make you panic in those situations. And how do you respond in those in those stressful physical situations. I think that's what this game is designed to excel at.
Right.
And now here's a question to you. Do you like this music? Do you like that it's playing?
No.
It's a serious question. It's a serious question.
Honestly, no.
Okay, so
I
here's-
feel
do you
like
like it
it's
when-
taunting. That's my
Okay.
reaction.
That's what I wanted to identify. Do you feel like when he talks to you, it's also taunting?
It's like a passive. Yeah, it's weird. It's like, oh yeah, that sucks, huh? And you just become more frustrated. Like, don't even say anything.
Would you rather... Okay. This current setup of the game, with the music and the way he talks, the monologue as he goes on, would you rather that experience, like what you're going through right now, or would you rather have a very mean style instead? So when you fall, it goes, haha, you suck. The music that plays is like Humpty Dumpty or something childish and
I'd rather no commentary.
designed to...
Well, let me ask you this.
But you have to have something.
Well, let me ask you this, because I can actually relate this, what I'm getting at, to pain, like literally physical pain. When I'm so hurt that even I cannot make a sound, and when people come up to me, I'm like, oh, is everything okay? I tell them, get away from me, but with hand gestures, like, don't talk to me, get away from me, let me go through my pain, let me do it alone. I don't mean to be mean to people, but that's the type of person I am. Like, if I get really hurt, like bad, I'm like, just stay away from me. Let me endure this until I'm ready to say, yes, please help me.
I enjoy how this entire 3-minute 30-second song is playing in full. It's not a snippet.
I can't
It's
do this,
not.
dude. I can't.
You can, and you know why? Because I saw you do it, and I believe in you. I believe in
Oh
you.
my god.
I think you need to start believing in yourself.
Oh my god. It's just so
You can hit
weird.
the escape key if you need to change the mouse sensitivity.
Oh, thanks, bud. That's not the issue.
He's giving
The
you a
m-
tip.
The
He's trying to
mouse
help you.
sensitivity.
He's trying to help you.
Oh man, I wonder if you could use a game controller.
Now, do you think that would help you?
Well, I'm trying to
Using
figure
a
out like
a
how.
joystick?
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, well, would I just be controlling one joystick? Because then there wouldn't really be much of a difference there. Well, maybe. I mean, with a joystick,
Maybe.
you're controlled to one specific. Like literally, my hand is all over my desk right now as I'm playing this game. So I guess I would have more control in that sense. I feel like it'd be more sensitive though, because the joystick only moves so far in a 360. You know.
Yeah,
movement.
I think this kind of game has to be.
All right. Well, you know what? I was doing a lot better as I was kind of talking and ranting. So I'm going to do a quick little interview, Matt.
Okay, well, that's me talking, but okay. Okay. Interviewing me would be me talking more than you.
Right,
so
right. Well, I mean, I
Just warning you.
I don't. All right, we'll see how in depth the answers are.
Okay.
So, what was your very first experience with? Okay, yeah, this one will be a little bit more in depth. What was your very first experience with video games in general? Growing
Game
up,
Boy.
really?
Game Boy.
Like
Yeah,
the
OG
original,
Game Boy.
like the OG from the 80s?
The purple and white and gray.
Purple, white, and gray.
Yeah, bro. It was like an eggplant purple.
Did they come in that color?
The buttons.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, it had like a gray shell, the purple buttons.
Yes.
Yeah.
The display was gray. The D-pad was gray. The buttons
God.
were purple,
Soul have
and
no
the chassis
rainbow,
was
had
white.
the eyes no tears.
Right, okay.
John Vance Cheney.
Okay, so you started handheld.
Yeah, I started
Interesting.
handheld.
So what games were you like into then on the Game Boy? Like what was your go-to?
Kirby games. Actually, no, not Kirby was later. It was like
Fuck.
I can't even name the games. It was just like Nintendo, right? I guess maybe Nintendo.
Nintendo was the game.
No, like Nintendo maybe I had before the Game Boy.
Oh,
I don't even remember,
gotcha.
man.
Oh,
I don't remember. Actually, I think it was Nintendo because the first game I ever started playing was Zelda.
Oh, okay.
Was Zelda and Mario. Those were the first games I ever played. And then I got a Game Boy, and then it was like playing all the games that came on that, which were all over the place because there were so many small games, right? Like that weren't big franchise names.
Right. Okay.
But I definitely played Game Boy more than console because my family didn't have money for multiple TVs, so
Sure,
it was
of course.
just if somebody else is using the TV, you're not playing games. So also Game Boy games were cheap, so Game Boy became the thing.
Interesting. Yeah, that is true. They were cheap. You know, it is kind of funny to think that back in the day, a lot of like Nintendo or Game Boy games. I mean, a Game Boy game probably cost you $40, but then again, a Nintendo game was like 50 to 60.
Yeah,
You know, like
100%. Yeah,
for an
it was
8-bit
expensive.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap.
Yeah, Nintendo would set you back $200 or $300. Just kind of interesting how there's an you know, like an inflation with things and like how the dollar has changed since the 80s. Yet you can buy a new gen console for $200 to $300
Yeah.
compared to the old. I feel like that's the one thing I feel has always stayed the same, yet has been improved over time with pricing.
Why? What was yours? If you had to answer that question.
So the very first console, so it was a console for me. The very first console I ever played was the Nintendo, and it was my uncle's. So my uncle at the time was in his teens. I was probably, God, maybe 3-4 years old, and I would watch him play Mario. And then of course I would try and can't even pass the first level, but I had fun playing. And so on my 4th birthday is when I received a Sega Genesis, and I ended up getting Sonic the Hedgehog as like one of my first games. So the Sega was technically the first console I ever owned.
The pain I feel now is the happiness I had before. That's the deal.
Oh, shut the
Lewis.
fuck up.
So I feel like you wouldn't like therapy. Just wildly guessing here based off of your reaction. To some
This
of
is
these
sad.
things.
I mean, I cannot get past the first like
Hey,
30 feet.
Hey. You're fine. Stay in it. You're good.
Oh,
Stay in
man.
it. You're good. You're good. Just stay in it. You're doing great.
Um,
I believe in what you're doing. So Sega was your first. Okay.
Yes, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what's
yeah.
funny? When I think of gaming as a kid, though, I don't think of too much on Nintendo. I really think of Sega because that's when I really played it heavy. That's when there's color and Sonic, and it was games that looked and played like you were at an arcade.
So, right. So when the Sega Genesis came out, and fun fact for anyone that doesn't know, Sega, the Genesis wasn't their first system. They've been making gaming consoles since I think like the late 70s or early 80s. I actually own what's called the Sega Master System, I believe. And it was like Sega's take on a classic Nintendo system. If you look at their controller, it's kind of similar to Nintendo's like squared controller as well. But anyways, so when the Genesis came out, they were entering the world of 16-bit. So they alone had the upper hand compared to Nintendo.
Yeah.
But sure enough, that's when Nintendo would come out with their 16-bit system, the Super Nintendo. And that was, I think, one of the first times we started seeing ports of
I feel
games.
within me a peace above all earthly dignities, a still and quiet conscience.
Yes, it was.
And you were seeing, it's funny because back in the day, I mean, you could buy an Xbox game or a PlayStation game. They're going to look the same. They're going to sound the same besides button inputs. I mean, there's not much of a difference anymore. But, like, back when Super Nintendo and Genesis were, like, competing, there was a graphical difference. There was an audio difference. A lot of people will say that they prefer the Super Nintendo audio over Genesis. However, they preferred Genesis graphics over Super Nintendo. Me, I have to agree with you when you say that when I think of my childhood, I think Sega Genesis because I'm right there with you. That's when, I mean, again, watching my uncle play these 8-bit games, and all of a sudden I'm seeing Sonic the Hedgehog, and the colors, and the awesome
And the music.
Oh my god, and how fast it was, because Sonic's got to go fast.
Yes.
And yeah, man, the fucking music, and yeah, it was just like ADD in a cartridge, and it was amazing. It was frustrating. It's a frustrating game, but I didn't stop playing it. Unlike this game. And
You cannot now believe that you will ever feel
yeah,
but this is not true. You're sure to
I'll
be
tell you
happy
what,
again.
my mind
Knowing
was
this,
like,
truly believing it will make you less miserable now.
I'll never forget
Abraham
how
Lincoln.
my mind was blown experiencing, should I even say N64? I didn't get an N64 until the early 2000s. I was really behind on that. It was a PlayStation.
I never got a PlayStation.
Really?
I jumped from a Sega into an N64. So I was on
Okay.
Sega for a long time.
I see. So, again, one of those situations where, like, I've played on an N64 at someone's house, but it was only one game. And it was the game I'm sure everyone had, which was Mario 64. And it was really odd for me. God, I'm going to sound old saying this, but it's true. When you're so used to just going left and right, up and down in a game, and all of a sudden you're going from a 2D to this, like, 3D access.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, wait, there's no up. It's just straight. It's like forward, backward, side to side. It's all the directions. I could go at an angle. You know, that was really strange. And then, you know, just seeing that continue with the PlayStation, it was like, oh my god, I'm playing a game on a CD right now. I don't have to blow in the cartridge. I don't have to do anything, like, finicky. Like, this is just,
Yeah.
this is weird.
Yeah. The 3D. I remember playing. Oh, this is a good song. I remember playing Super Mario 64 and being blown away by the music and being really bad at it because, like you said, I was so not used to 3D worlds.
Yes.
And not only that, remember the physics? How he would slide and how many steps it took for him to run.
Oh, absolutely.
The physics were incredible.
Yeah,
in
like
that
with
game.
the
And again,
running.
the music was amazing.
Yeah. You know, that is true. That is one thing that I have to say. Being one of the first 3D games, it's kind of amazing that they even thought to put those types of physics in. Compared to, like, I'm just trying to think of
Yeah.
other games that were to follow, even like PlayStation. Exactly that. Watching Mario move, like having to move him, he does a slow walk into a jog, then runs. It's not just a transition to jogging or running. It's like a slow start up. If you, like, go to make a quick turn, there's almost like a drift to it. Yeah, I mean, that was something that they... I guess that it kind of made it harder to experience that, too, and try to get used to, like, this whole idea of physics behind gaming. I mean, now we're so used to it with certain games, it's kind of like hard to imagine, no physics, but
Like this game has a lot of physics, doesn't it?
it's nothing but physics and confusion, because like you said before, I have no idea why this man's in a pot with a pickaxe and in this mysterious world. Now, let me ask you this, because, growing up, same, like, my parents didn't have all the money in the world. If you got a new system, did your parents have this rule where it was like, okay, that's fine, you can get the new system, however, you have to get rid of an old system if you want the new?
No, they did have that with games.
Or, yeah, especially with games, or like it got to a point where I had so many systems and it was like, all right, well, which ones do you play the least? Can we get rid of them before we start getting you more systems?
No, we never got rid of systems. We always got rid of games. Because at the time, too, don't forget, the trade-in value for games was still fine.
Yes.
It wasn't at current, like, best GameStop level of, I bought this game, but now I'm returning it, and it's like, oh, that's going to be $5.
80 cents.
It's like,
Yeah,
I
if
just
that.
paid $60 for it 2 days ago. It's like, yeah, well, now it's $5 max.
Yeah.
And it's just, what? So it's not the market that it is now. 100%. Also, the, what was it, the dollar rent bucket at Blockbuster for games was the coolest thing ever, and I loved it. I don't know if it was $1, but I remember it was so cheap. Every Friday, I would go there with my family
Yep.
for movie nights, for like the family to rent movies over the weekend.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I would always be allowed to rent one game or even two because they were like so cheap. They were like $1 or $2.
Yep.
And you could rent it for what, a week I think it was, or 2 weeks, and then you had to return it.
Yeah, something like that, like a 7-day thing they had. Yeah, I want to say games were less than that. If I'm not mistaken,
No,
games weren't
less
a full
than
week.
$1? No, get out of here. To rent?
I thought movies were longer than games. I know something had a shorter rental period.
Yes. No, you're right. I'm wrong. I thought you were talking about the money, and I was like, "There's no way it was cheaper."
Yeah, no.
So yeah.
Yeah, family movie night, man. That it's things where I think today it's like, yeah, can one still have a family movie night and just stream something? Yeah, because there's that convenience. But there was something about going out and knowing like family night was literally an event, and it was something you prepared for. The fact that it's like, okay, guys, we're all going to Blockbuster. You each get to choose a movie, or like we're going to figure out what movie we're going to watch as a family. Hell, you might even get like a popcorn or candy from Blockbuster. Then you get home, you watch the movie. Like it was something that I feel like hasn't existed, obviously, since there hasn't been a Blockbuster, since even before Netflix, I would say. But man, yeah, it's you just can't recreate that anymore, unfortunately. Same thing with gaming. I don't know about you, but there's like what we're doing now is great, but man, there was something about going over your friend's house and just like hanging out playing video games for hours. Like, I don't know if you did that, but
100%. 100%. Going over, renting a game, or you bought one of the games and your friend bought the other game and you took turns playing the different games.
Yes.
Try out other games.
It's just everything online. I get it. There's the convenience, but there's just this magic from the past. I don't know.
Is it magic or is it nostalgia? Right? Like,
that is true. Yeah. But
that's something to think about. Which one is it really? Is it nostalgia, or is it like, do you think kids today would really value that experience or no?
Absolutely not. Yeah, that is true. So I guess it would have to be nostalgic because most of these kids are born into, Minecraft and Roblox or like, battle royale games where everything is just online anyways. So yeah, man. Holy shit. No!
Why did you? Why did you?
I panicked. No! No!
Take a break. I've saved your progress.
No!
You know what? I think Ben Foddy is making a good point. I think it's time to take a break.
I think so.
I think after the extent of what we've done tonight with the testing of this style of our casting, I think this is a good time to hit the pause button. Unless you're craving more of this right now,
No.
which of course, if you are, I don't want to stop you from your happiness, but
Oh, wow. Okay. There's sliding physics. I thought I was able to just hang off of that. I let go of the mouse and he just slid off.
oh.
Well, that's something else. All right. Well, I am going to hit pause. So yeah, I believe Matt and I are going to do this. Who knows how often? Maybe a couple times a month. We'll see how it goes. This was, yeah, as Matt said, this is kind of like our little pilot episode. He will be co-hosting this type of stuff. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. If it goes great, that's awesome. For now, it will be hosted on this channel, Mikroscopix. It'll still be in discussion whether or not we perhaps move this onto a separate channel. So, yeah. But Matt, no, I appreciate you joining me in this frustrating experience. And this is, I think, the second or third time I've had you on a recording. This is the third time I have you on recording.
This is the third time.
Yeah, you're in my two only Call of Duty videos. So, there you go.
I feel honored. I feel very honored for this.
But guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Matt, thanks for joining me. Hopefully this goes well, and I hope we could do it again. Hopefully a different game. Everybody.
A different game.
We are not playing this again. I'm sorry. Guys, thanks for tuning in. And as always, peace.